Hello students, my name is C.A. Sanjay Mutreja and I am going to take Accountancy class 11th for you. As you know, accountancy is a very old profession. It started long time back when there were kings. At that time we used to think about accountancy. In the olden days, when we were starting with accountancy, it was only for taking into account what the employees are doing and what is our expenses, what are our incomes, that's all. So mainly we have to keep a check on the employees and nothing more than that. But right now, accountancy is being viewed as helping in decision making. So how does it help in decision making? Let us see. When we predict something for the future, then we have to predict what will happen in the business in future. So that's how it helps in decision making for the future. So accountancy is a very, very important profession in which we have to learn the techniques as to how to keep the record of expenses and income and everything. So we are going to start with chapter 1 today. Let's begin our discussion right now. And nowadays there are many exciting areas of accounting coming into the picture, like e-commerce accounting, environmental accounting and forensic accounting. I hope you know what is forensic accounting, where we are dealing with computer hacking and web-based frauds. You must be reading in newspaper all these things as of now. So these exciting areas of accounting had made it very interesting and the name is given forensic accounting. Like we are dealing with how to tackle with these problems in accounting, right? Right now, accounting is being viewed as an information system. That is, it is going to provide information to various users. Users can be internal or external. Now these things will come in the discussion to follow, but let us see on the screen what it appears like that it is an information system. Please see on the screen. Yes. Now let us begin with the definition of accounting first. What is accounting? Accounting is an art. Art of what? Recording, classifying and summarizing. Now what kind of transactions? Only financial transactions. We can record only financial transaction in the books. Non-financial transaction don't find a place in the books. So accounting is an art of recording, classifying, summarizing the transaction and events which are of financial character, at least in part. Because if it is not of financial character, how can we record? How can we measure in terms of money? So only and only financial transaction we are going to record in a significant manner so that we are able to draw meaningful conclusions. It should not be recorded haphazardly, because if we are going to record in a particular manner, only then we are able to derive maximum information from that. To analyze, interpret and communicate the information to the users. Analyze means methodical classification of data. Interpretation means concluding what we have analyzed and then communicating to those people who actually require the information, right? So let us memorize it once again, that accountancy is an art. Art of what? Recording, classifying and summarizing. Three things. Of all these significant transactions and events in a meaningful manner to draw meaningful conclusions, right? So let us see when actually accounting started. Let's go to the history of accounting. It started with Babylonian civilization and in Egypt 4000 years before the Christ. when we got some clues about what actually is accounting. And then it was followed by Greece and Romans, where they recorded receipt and payments, from where the money is coming, from where the money is being spent. And it was 700 years before Christ to 400 years after the death of Christ. So this was the period when Greece and Romans were using the accounting part. Now, let us see when it started in India. 23 centuries ago, there was a kingdom, Chandragupta kingdom. And you must be knowing at that time, there was a minister, Chanakya. You must have heard about that. And along with them, there was another minister, Kautilya, who wrote Arthashastra for the first time, where in India we started recording from where the money is coming, where the money is being spent. He used to tell the king about from the sources of income and the expenditure. And from there it started in India. He wrote Arthashastra for the first time, in which he explained how to record and how to audit, that is, how to check the entries. But the modern day accounting begins with a French mathematician, that is Lucas de Pacioli, who actually started double entry system of bookkeeping. That is, every debit must have an equal credit. So he is known as the father of accountancy double entry system. He used debit and credit terminology for the first time. He said that every entry has two effects, one debit and one credit. We can say he actually wrote Arthashastra in a suit boot avatar. So that is called double entry system as of now, which is being used in modern day accounting system. Now let us understand what exactly is the nature of accounting. First point, it only records economic events. Economic event means those transactions which are measurable in terms of money only, right? So we don't record non-financial transaction, as I explained to you earlier also. Next, it is being identified, measured, recorded and communicated. So please see, there are 4 steps. First, we identify those transactions which have to be recorded. That is, only the financial record transactions related with the business only. And then next, we measure them in terms of money and then record it in the accounts. Next, we record in the books and then we communicate it to the users who require that information for the purpose of decision making. And the users can be internal or external, both. Next point, it is related to organizing the things also. Organization, the word is used, organization. Now the organization can be profit making or non-profit making. So we have different accounting for all those things. And it can be a corporate or a firm or a sole proprietorship. So we have different kind of techniques which are used for the purpose of recording in different type of organization. That's why accounting is an art. We have got the same principles, but we use it according to the situation. Like in firms, it can be different. In corporate, it can be different. But the actual basic principle is the same. So when principle is the same and application is different, it is called an art. So we come back to the definition where we have already told that accounting is an art of recording, classifying and summarizing, right? So there you can see why it is an art. So now the 4th point is, who are the interested users who use the information of accounting? Now they can be internal or external. I hope you must be knowing who are the internal users of accounting information, like employees, owners, management, and who are the external, like debtors, creditors. I hope you don't know these words. So you can see customers who take the goods, supplier who supply the raw material, government for the purpose of tax. All these are external users, and there can be others also, like investors who are going to invest the money, prospective investor. All these people want the information. Banks also want the information whether to give loan to the company or not. So we have to provide the information to all these internal and external users. Yes, Yatin, let me ask you a simple question. I know non-financial things are also important, like good employees, but why they are not recorded in the books of accounts? Can you tell?
Because whether is not in money terms, it cannot be recorded as per definition.
Very good. This is a good answer, that if we cannot record anything in terms of money, then we cannot do it in accounts, as it is not measurable in terms of money. So this was a good answer. Now let us see how accounting is a source of information. As we know, accounting begins with identification of the transaction and recording of the transaction, and then concludes with preparing the financial statements and then communicating the information to the interested users. Let us see point by point how it helps in actually decision making. First point, accounting information provide information for decision making and predicting the future. Next, it helps in judging the management effectiveness as to how they have performed in doing their duties. And then next, the information on activity which are affecting the society as a whole. That is, what we are doing is actually benefiting the society, or we are robbing the society of their sources. So all these things tells us that accounting is a source of good information. Yes, Tanvi?
So how the future is predicted from accounting?
Yes, as we record all the things of the past in the business books, and then we learn about the mistakes, what has happened, only then we can take decision for the future. So that's how we move on. Let's take this discussion further. Now let us start with what are the types of accounting which we are going to study. First and the foremost, very important, financial accounting, which we are dealing in this class, 11th. Financial accounting means those things which we record in financial terms. That is financial accounting. Next, cost accounting, where we try to calculate what is the cost per unit which we are producing, because unless we know what is the cost, how can we calculate the selling price and sell it to the customers and earn profit for business? And the next part is management accounting. This again is very important, because management has to take important decisions, and they are based on what information we are going to provide them. So it is also an important area. Next, please see the screen. It shows social responsibility accounting. What we are doing for the society, what we are doing for the planet, and what we are doing for the future of our children. So this is a new area which is coming into the picture, and a very important point along with this is corporate social responsibility, which has been discussed very often in news these days. In fact, the companies are giving some percentage of their profit for the benefit of society as a whole, and there are many projects going on for this. And the last one is human resource accounting, that is what we are doing for the people who are working with us, those people, those employees those directors, those managers who are working for the organization, what are we doing for their future development? That is, how they will go on in the future, how they will help the organization in the future. So this is called human resource accounting. So students, today what we have discussed is what actually is accounting, what is the history of accounting. In fact, we have begun today with accounting. And in the first class, I think this is very important to know actually you have understood this or not. So in the next session to follow, we'll take our discussion to a further level. Till then, okay, thank you students.
Thank you, sir.
Recording 1. In this module, we have learned the history of accounting, definition of accounting, nature of accounting, types of accounting.